What's up guys, MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and I'm going to record a video now that I've done before. I think I recorded this, it was a while ago, perhaps 2 years ago, I'm just guessing here, but I made a video on Armor King versus King, the two masked grapplers, you know, who's the strongest one out of them. And on the last one I told you why King is stronger. We've seen a lot of buffs to Armor King, right? In the last 2-3 seasons, he's received quite a few of them, to the point where some people now are saying like, oh my god, he might be as strong as King now. And in this video I've played a lot of King lately, sort of rediscovered the character, and I'm just going to try and explain to you why King is, in my opinion, so much better than Armor King. And it's much easier to start with what makes Armor King a strong character, because he's much simpler to understand than King is. King is more complicated, I feel. Whereas Armor King requires... they both require a ton of fundamental knowledge, but with Armor King, like, movement and spacing is much more important than with King, if you want to say such a thing about high-level Tekken. So Armor King has better movement than King. He's got a big backdash, he's got a really big and nice sidestep. And this is because he has really good whiff punishment. So he's supposed to move around really well and then find that big dark upper. So that's a big deal. Armor King has a legit wave dash, and he's got a wind god fist. So this is -10 on block. But again, 11 frame animation. So the startup is 14 frames. It's a really, really good move to have. So this is something Armor King has above King. Movement is better, whiff punishment is better, and the damage is higher. Staple from Dark Upper does 80 damage. That is a lot of damage. That's way above average. And it can also take you to the wall with big combos, you know, ending with 4-1 to wall splat far away. And he actually has a good wall combo that is guaranteed. Whereas King has only low damage options, so he's forced most of the time to go for setups, either a ground throw, which is a 50-50, or setting up moonsaults and unblockables. King is overall a very setup heavy character compared to Armor King. King is a brawler that mixes almost a Xiaoyu Marduk Oki-esque style. King has the best Oki in the game aside from Marduk, in my opinion. Setup heavy. Almost, you know, Yoshi stuff on King. Brawler, Yoshi, Xiaoyu-esque Marduk. Whereas Armor King is movement with punishing, and then basically chipping away at the opponent using very long limbs. So Armor King doesn't have amazing frames, in my opinion, but he compensates by having a lot of reach. A ton of reach. But honestly, that's where his strengths stop, in my opinion. That's what Armor King excels at. Spacing, movement, punishing, wave punishing, block punish is strong as well. Nice pokes in terms of I have long limbs, right? And good lows. Certainly has good lows. But the problem is shutting down sidestepping and ducking. Like, the mids are not that good, in my opinion. That's very slow at 23 frames. Demon Paw, not that scary. So people kind of like to move away from him, duck, or sidestep duck, due to this move. And he has a throw game, obviously. And at a quick glance, you think like, oh, I mean, he has the key throws. He has Giant Swing, he has Tombstone, he has Shining Wizard, while his throws are just as good as King's. Nowhere close. So I'm going to try and give you a pretty detailed breakdown now as to why King is so much stronger. But a very interesting thing to look at that I want to show first is like, well, counter hit utility. King and Armor King both share the back one, right? 14 frame counter hit launcher. I mean, it's basically just like Steve, right? Steve's, even if Steve's back one comes out 1 frame slower, 13, it's 10 times better than this. And I could dedicate a video to explain that. And I'm going to do a Steve video soon where I'm going to explain that, by the way. But I want to show you something really interesting just to show you why King's back one is so much better than Armor King's, even though they come out at the same frame, at 12 frames. So I'm going to use Kazuya for this example. But first off, I think actually Armor King matches the reach of King's. But the most important distinction is back one on whiff. So what you'll use this move for is that you'll stay away and you'll use it as keep out, right? And when you whiff into the air, you know, the opponent did not run into a counter hit. You want it to recover quickly, right? So now I'm going to show you something really interesting. I'm blocking electric here, and then Kazuya does a dick jab into while standing 4. If I do a back one here immediately after blocking the electric, I can't block the while standing 4 because Armor King's back one actually recovers quite slowly. I can't block that. But if I switch to Lord King, this is going to look very different. And this is because King's back one actually recovers ridiculously fast for that type of attack. You can actually try this with most of these types of attacks, and they will not recover in time. 12 frame and 13 frame counter hits. You see? So if you thought like King and Armor King's back one are the same, they really are not. King's back one is so much more viable for this type of play. But just so this video doesn't turn out to be 60 minutes in length, let me just explain to you why King is so much better than Armor King. So again, this movement is slightly weaker, but it's not weak. And King also has Jaguar Step, which you should not forget about. You can see how Lil Majin puts this to use, so really good Kings. You backdash into a Jaguar Step and you cover a ton of ground. Jaguar Step is really good. So that's for his movement. And again, I can't whiff punish with King as well as I can with Armor King. But it should still be mentioned, like, I do have 4-2-1, right? That hits pretty hard. And if I have a really good read, I can crouch cancel into a super long reach, full crouch down for 2. So it's not like his whiff punishment is horrible. And back 1-2 has a lot of reach. Block punish is really good with King. Should be mentioned. It's really good, in my opinion. 15 frame has a little bit of reach problems for hop kick, but that's pretty much the same with Armor King. But so let's go into King's strengths. Like lows, just like Armor King, he has good lows. Although you could say Armor Kings are slightly better if you want to, but I think they're pretty much even. But standout low for Armor King is his down 4. That's really his standout low, in my and forward neutral too. King's doesn't launch, but it does respectable damage in this 35 damage follow-up. But the real distinction comes with the brawling stuff. And again, I've tried to mention to you guys that in Tekken 7, it's very important how well you do here, right? And your neutral control. And King just has an endless amount of really good poke tools. Downward 1 has a ton of reach. Ton of reach. And it's an elbow, can't be parried, can do a follow-up. That is -10, but still really good. Down for 2-1 is ridiculously strong. Safe on block, -4. You can duck the second hit. But again, if this counter hits, it is literally like half-life. I dropped that. But you can become good with King and hit that every time. It does more than half-life, I think. And this is counter hit confirmable with a twitch confirm. So this means you see the opponent attack and then you'll add the second hit. It's very delayable. This is the move Armor King wishes he had. This is the respect me. You gotta remember, all of these throws are steppable and duckable. Forward 4 shuts that down. Safe on block, very fast, low crush, knockdown. And sets up the best Oki in the game aside from Marduk. But we're gonna talk about that in a second. So Fort 4 is a move Armor King needs, but he doesn't have. Fort 1 is ridiculously strong. Sidestep 2 is ridiculously strong. Enormously evasive. Safe on block. -5 on block. Fort 1 is also -5 on block. But now we're going to talk about the really busted stuff. And it's this shove. This is one of the best mids in the game. So this, if I do this perfectly, it comes out at 1, 2, 3, 12 frames. So that's faster than a down for 1. This is neutral on block and has enormous reach. So if this is blocked, I'm back to where I was before, right? Neutral. If this counter hits, it's basically 1 million damage. And this also works. King's shove is absolutely ridiculous and one of his best attacks, if not his best attack, I would say. It is incredibly strong. So King's brawling, his neutral, absolutely incredible and better than Armor King's. And now, he is the best grappler in the game by 9 million miles. And at first glance, you might say, well, Marduk, come on, he's just as strong. Or Armor King also has Giant Swing. Armor King also has Tombstone. Yeah, but what you have to remember here is that this is an Oki god, Armor King. I swear to God, people don't understand how good his Oki is. We're gonna get into it. But first off, his Rage Drive is 9,000 times better than Armor King's. This is... I'm going to agree with Majin these days after having played a lot of King. That's top 2 Rage Drive. The only Rage Drive better than this one is Steve's. His Rage Drive 2. Down for 2+3, but 14 frame launcher. This is better than Xiaoyu's. It is better than Marduk's. This is top 2. So again, 20 frame startup. Lifts his leg on startup here, beats lows, beats highs in a lot of parts of the animation, +8 on block, launches sky high for 1 million damage, no execution to it, tracks well, and has 1 million setups for it. Like legit, you have no idea how many setups there are for this Rage Drive. From incredible situations. Yeah, that's Oki, right? Okay, so one of the best Rage Drives in the game. That's not a small detail. But what's the distinction here on King's Tombstone? King gets Oki. Armor King after a Tombstone has minus frames. King is in an advantage. Muscle Buster. What happens? I get Oki. Okay. If you're fast enough, you get Oki. You gotta mash this. There we go. You can do all kinds of setups there. Shining Wizard. I get Oki. Any throw I do, I love this one as well. It's like, you know how we think Armor King gets more guaranteed damage in his combos? He does. But again, I don't care about that damage at all. Because I much prefer with King getting the Oki. If they move, that's guaranteed. If they stay on the ground, I can ground throw. King's throws, just like Armor King's, but Oki. So makes them twice as good. King's chain throws are almost busted. Also give Oki. Oh, okay, I couldn't do a King's Bridge. It's like we have a damage here on his chain throws. Who matches that damage? Wait, let's see. Jaguar Step. And again, chain throw is a 50-50. Same animation. Can make, if they duck, you mix that with this. Rolling Death Cradle is busted. Even if you know the break for that, there's a 5-frame break window. And again, has so many variations to these. So many variations where you can mix you up. Okay. Oh, I forgot about this mid. 15 frame startup. Ali kick is guaranteed here. 52 damage. That's guaranteed. That's safe on block, by the way. -8. Good reach. You know what? I could talk. Do you know how long we could talk about his throws? Oh, I have my back towards the wall, right? I can mix up giant swing and this. Same animation. Most people don't even know this. That's guaranteed. That's guaranteed. My God, I could talk about this forever. You don't break this throw, guaranteed. This stuns them. That ground throw stuns the opponent, so you get another ground throw. Guaranteed attempt. And it is Oki setups. I could devote an hour to them. This, just like WWF games, Kazuya is stunned. You don't know about this. He's stunned here. I have a guaranteed ground throw attempt. Or if you're good with timing, guaranteed people's elbow into guaranteed rage drive. You don't even know about this shit. This character has, and again, if he tries to quick stand here, oh, side throw. It's like, I'm just trying to say, but this character's Oki is broken. There are so many setups you have no idea about. You know, if you quick stand, he gets that. Armor King doesn't have a real ground throw mix-up because one of them just stands up the opponent. He has a real ground throw mix-up. So again, in my opinion, better neutral, better mid, low pokes, space control. His throws are much better. Doesn't do as much damage, but compensates by having the best Oki in the game. And it has, on paper, broken attacks. Armor King doesn't. 4-4 neutral 2 comes close, but it's not a shove. Best throws in the game by a mile. I think I've explained now why King is better than Armor King. An unlimited potential with his setups. Just unlimited potential. So setup heavy. So that's going to be that recording. I hope that gave you an idea of where Armor King is and where King is and why, at least in my opinion, King is far superior to Armor King. And I've underrated King myself, but I think there's a case for him being top 15. So thank you for listening to me, everyone. Take care.